Gaza by the numbers. Just what is the strategy going forward? Hello, this is Chart GPT today. Well, of course, we all know what the news has been. It's all about the conflict going on between Hamas and Israel. And recently, the edict from the IDF there in Israel is basically to move 1 million people from northern Gaza to the south. So what might be interesting to see first is to look at Gaza a little bit by the numbers from a demographics, from a mapping perspective, what it looks like. So first off, here's what the edict was. Here's that little red line there. So they want all the people living in the green area to go to the red area, which is in 24 hours. I guess there's going to be some slippage on that. So some people are wondering if that's even possible. Moving 1 million people into a highly populated area is going to be quite a feat. So a little bit of quick facts on Gaza. Probably seen some of this already, but there's 2.2 million living in an area measured 141 square miles in total, and it's considered the most densely populated area. Gaza is a strip of land 25 miles long, 7 miles wide, so it's pretty small. Looking at the age demographic, a lot of people don't realize it, but 43% of the people live in Gaza are under the age of 14, and so the median age is 18. So you can see that it's a very young population. Probably not even half of them are not even adults. So that's an interesting thing about what is transpiring there. Of course, the demographics is Palestinian Arab, 98-99, predominantly Sunni, which can play into the geopolitics. What's interesting as well in terms of what Israel's feat going forward to try to go after Hamas is what they want to do, is they have to face a network of 500 kilometers of tunnels approximately. Maybe that's a little bit high, but nevertheless there's hundreds of miles of tunnels in that small area. Must be a honeycomb under that land. In terms of water, they've shut off all electricity and water to the area. They have about 108 cubic meters of untreated sewage that flows daily from Gaza into the Mediterranean, so it's kind of a horrifying area. And their water is pretty much depleted. 97% of it, they don't have even fresh water there. So that all plays into the reality of what's going on the ground, regardless of what you say. Quick thing on the weather. Obviously, if they're going to be traveling from the south to the north, north to the south rather, you can see the temperature is probably, from a temperature perspective, I guess that's reasonable. 68 on the low side, 82 on the high side. So at least the temperatures are not going to be so hot as in the summertime. Take a look at some photos here. You can check out the description links and the post link on the description box here. Gaza is a little bit bigger than the Manhattan. You can see it's kind of superimposed over the Manhattan area. So it's a fairly small area, 2 million people living there and being crowded into half. Here's kind of another picture of it looking from what it looks like if it was superimposed over Washington, if you've been to these areas. Here's another picture of the Gaza Strip overlaid into the LA area. So that's quite interesting that it's a very small area. So there's a lot of happening in that very small area. Some of the ideas of what's going on and what people are thinking there, and again, we're not trying to make any judgments here in this particular video. You can kind of determine your own opinions based upon the data here. We have 53% of Palestinians agree that Hamas is the most deserving. Support for the armed conflict rising sharply. So 60% of the people do support what's going on there. Oddly enough, people in the West Bank are no different. It's just that they haven't done anything about it. So you can see that in the U.S. polling, which is quite interesting, since the Democrats typically are thought to be more pro-Israel. 49%. Now this is in March. It may have changed recently based on the events on the ground. In March of 2023, 49% support Palestine and 38% support Israel. Of course, Republicans are just the inverse, which is always kind of interesting because they thought the Republicans are all the anti-Semitic people. But it is what it is. But the Jewish voting electorate in the U.S. is 71% vote Democratic. So try to wrap your head around that. One thing I think that all parties and independents seem to agree that they're very concerned that a wider conflict is worrying, and very concerned is around almost pretty much equal, around the 37-38%. Concerned again around the 40%. So pretty evenly split between the parties there. So again, we asked the AI on whether or not what's the rationale in terms of Israel may or may not have to do from an international law perspective. You can read that. But the question is, what do they do going forward? Now, obviously, they've stated they're going to go after the Hamas, who's killed, 1,300 people from the last count, approximately that, and then take 150 hostages. So it's going to be difficult getting those hostages out of the 100, 200 miles of honeycomb tunnels in Gaza. I suppose robots and sleeping gas, maybe they can get them out, but it's going to be a very difficult question. So you've heard a lot of people make discussions about what the future solutions will be, regardless of even after they take down Gaza, which I guess they're going to do. What are they going to do? Are they going to level Gaza, eliminate them? That's one solution, which is horrifying. I doubt they can do that, but maybe. Some people think they'll just have to get into a long-term engagement where they re-educate the people, similar to how when Japan and Germany after World War II, when that would change the hearts and minds. Of course, that's been tried before by the Americans in Iraq and Afghanistan with not very good success. Deportations to third countries as possible. Or maybe you have another solution. So what is your solution going forward? Take our online poll in the description box. Anyway, we're going to be watching these events unfold, and it's going to be, as Netanyahu said, it'll be echoing through generations, and he may be true about what may be coming. Don't forget to subscribe.